ହଁ ହେଲା ହେଲା ହଉନଥିଲା ତ। Good morning. Let's start the discussion on Delhi current affairs. The first topic that we will take today is about the oil reserve in salt caverns, the potential in India. Strategic oil reserve is most important for a country like India. They are reserving it to stone caverns, but right now government thinking to keep it in the salt caverns. The government-owned engineering consultancy, Farm Engineers India Limited, is studying the prospect and feasibility of developing salt cavern-based strategic oil reserve in Rajasthan, in line with the government's objective of increasing the country's strategic oil storage capacity. If the idea come to fruition, India will get its first salt cavern-based oil strategy facility. Okay, the country's three existing strategic oil storage facility at Mangaluru and Padur in Karnataka and Visakhapatnam in Andhra Pradesh are made up of excavated rock caverns in stock cut storage. Contribute strategic crude oil reserve to mitigate major supply disruptions in the global supply chain. In case of any problem in the oil supply chain, because India imports a substantial amount of its crude oil from abroad. So, and energy, oil, fossil fuel, especially petroleum, fulfill a substantial part of India's energy need. So, we are maintaining a reserve by which, in case of any interruption in the supply, we can use it. Okay, for our own requirement. Okay. So, country build strategic crude oil reserve to mitigate major supply disruptions in the global supply chain. India, the world's third largest consumer of crude, depends on import for more than 85% of its requirement, and strategic petroleum reserves should help ensure energy security and availability during global supply shock and other emergencies. India currently has an strategic reserve capacity of 5.33 million tons, or around 39 million barrel of crude that can meet around 9.5 days of demand. The country is in the process of expanding the strategic reserve capacity by a cumulative 6.5 million ton at two locations: Chandikhol in Odisha, 4 million tons, and Padur, okay, in Karnataka. So the work is going on. India's strategic oil reserve comes under the Petroleum Ministry Special Purpose Vehicle, Indian Strategic Petroleum Reserve (ISPRL). That EIL was instrumental in setting up the country's existing SPR as the project management consultant. Salt cavern based storage, which is considered cheaper and less labor and cost intensive than rock caverns, could add a new, much needed chapter to India's SPR story. Salt cavern based reserve versus rock cavern based reserves. Unlike underground rock caverns, which are developed through excavation, salt caverns are developed by the process of solution mining, which involves pumping water into the geological formations with large salt deposits to dissolve the salt. After the brine, that water with dissolved salt is pumped out of the formation, the space can be used to store crude oil. The process is simpler, faster, and less cost intensive than developing excavated rock caverns. Salt cavern based oil storage facilities are also naturally well sealed and engineered for rapid injection and extraction of oil. This makes them a more attractive option than storing oil in other geological formations, according to a report by the Environmental Solution Initiative at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology (MIT) in USA. And USA reserve its oil in the salt caverns. The salt that lines the inside of this cavern has extremely low oily absorbency, which creates a natural impermeable barrier against liquid and gaseous hydrocarbon. making the cavern apt for storage. Also, unlike rock caverns, salt cavern-based storage can be created and operated almost entirely from the surface. The entire SPR program of the United States has so far been based on salt cavern-based storage facilities. The US Strategic Petroleum Reserve, the world's largest emergency oil storage, consists of four sites with deep underground storage caverns created in salt domes along the Gulf of Mexico coast in Texas and Louisiana. The US Strategic Oil Reserve have a cumulative capacity of around 2.7 million barrels. Salt caverns are also used to store liquid fuel and natural gas in various parts of the world. They are also considered suitable for storing compressed air and hydrogen. Potential in India for storing crude petroleum products. Rajasthan, which has the bulk of the requisite salt formation in India, is seen as the most conducive for developing salt cavern based strategic storage facility. Plan over the past decade to build a strategic oil reserve in Bikaner did not take off, and the EIL's chairman said the exploration of the possibility of salt cavern based strategic reserve in Rajasthan is seen as a renewal of the proposal. A refinery is coming up in Barmer, and Rajasthan has crude pipelines as well. Such infrastructure is conducive for building strategic reserve. However, no Indian company with the ALI has had the requisite technical know-how to build salt cavern-based strategic hydrocarbon storage. This gap is assessed to technology has been bridged by the earliest recent partnership with Germany's DEEP, MBB GmbH, a company that specializes in cavern storage and solution mining technology. So, the technology from foreign company. So, Indian strategic oil reserve can be stored in the salt caverns. So, right now we are storing it in the rock caverns, but salt caverns, which is used by American other countries, are more suitable, less expensive. So, right now the planning is to develop the salt caverns. Strategic Petroleum Reserve Program. India's strategic oil reserve are part of the effort to build sufficient emergency stockpile on the lines of the reserves that the US and its Western allies set up after the first oil crisis of the 1970. The three existing rock cavern-based facilities were built during the first phase of the program. Crude oil from the reserve are to be released by an empower committee set up by the government. In the event of supply disruption due to natural calamity or an unforeseen global event leading to an abnormal increase in price, the International Energy Agency, a Paris-based autonomous intergovernmental organization in which India is an association country, recommends that all countries should hold an emergency oil stockpile sufficient to provide 90 days of import protection. So, in case of an interruption, the country's reserve should fulfill its need for around 90 days. Fine. Okay. The in India, apart from the SPR, there is sufficient to the that is sufficient to meet 9.5 days oil requirement. The oil marketing companies have storage facility for crude oil and petroleum products for 64.5 days, which means there is sufficient storage to meet around 74 days of country's petroleum demand. Okay, but still, as we are an energy dependent country, we should have developed more strategic oil reserve. India also decided to commercialize the strategic petroleum reserve, as part of which the Abu Dhabi National Oil Company stored about 0.8 tons of crude in the Mangaluru Strategic Reserve. In the second phase of the program, the government want to develop strategic reserve through private partnership so as to reduce government spending and exploit the commercial potential of the reserve. Taking advantages of the low crude oil price in April-May 2020, the government completely filled these reserves, leading to estimated saving of around 1,000 crore. In late 2021, India released 5 million barrel from its strategic reserve as part of a coordinated US-led action by major oil consumption countries against the joint decision of major oil producing nations to curb output. So, if you have a reserve, so you can observe temporary shock due to change in the oil price in the international market. This is where, so in case we have a reserve, sufficient reserve, this will definitely help our own country to manage our energy requirement, which will be in the positive side for the country. But the next topic is about the Iran-Taliban water conflict, means Iran-Afghanistan water conflict. Taliban is ruling Afghanistan. Iran and Afghanistan are locked in a long-standing dispute over the sharing of water from the Helmand River. Which river? Helmand River. Clashes broke out recently along the border between. Okay, so the gas Iran and Taliban exchanged heavy gunfire last week on the Islamic Republic border with Afghanistan, killing and wounding troops while sharply intensified rising tension between the countries. Both sides accuse each other of shooting first. So there is a fight between the Iranian army and the Afghan Taliban. The clash came amid an escalating dispute between Kabul and Tehran over the Helmand River, which is a vital source of water of both the sides, supporting agriculture, livelihood, and ecosystem in the region. Afghanistan and Iran have been at loggerhead over the sharing of the river water for over a century. The Helmand is Afghanistan's longest river. It originates near Kabul in the western Hindu Kush mountain range and flow in a southwesterly direction through desert area for a total of about 115 kilometer before emptying into the Lake uh, Hamoon, which straddles of Afghanistan-Iran border. Right? Lake Hamoon is the longest freshwater lake in Iran. It used to be one of the world's largest wetlands, standing for 1,000 square kilometers between Iran and Afghanistan, fed by the Helmand. But it has since dried up. A trend experts blame on drought and the impact of dam and water control. The lake is of great importance for the regional environment and economy. It's so that lake in Iran. Okay, Hamun Lake. But if Tehran and Kabul accuse each other of Afghanistan and Iran signed an agreement, the Helmand River Treaty 1973 to regulate the allocation of river water, but the accord was neither ratified nor fully implemented, causing disagreements and tension to persist. Iran has accused Afghanistan of violating its water rights for years, arguing that far less water than the amount agreed to in the 1973 treaty flowed to Iran from Afghanistan because the river originated from Afghanistan. Afghanistan has rejected Iran's accusation, underlining that climatic factors like a shortage of rainfall resulting in reduced river water volume are to blame for the situation. A major source of concern for Iran is Afghanistan's construction of dam, reservoirs, and irrigation system along the Helmand River. Tehran feared that the project reduced water flow into Iran from Afghanistan, but Kabul argued that it is within the right to expand water storage and irrigation capacity within Afghanistan because Afghanistan is the upper riparian area. But the state of Tehran Taliban ties, Iran and Afghanistan share 950-kilometer land border. Both countries have no major territorial dispute. Tehran has cultivated good ties with the Taliban before the Islamic fundamentalist group captured Kabul in August 2021. As US and NATO troops were in final week of their pullout from Afghanistan, both sides were united in their opposition to the US presence in the region. Even though Iran has so far refrained from formally recognizing the Taliban government, it has been pragmatic and maintained relations with Afghanistan current rules. Okay, so even though Iran has so far refrained from formally recognizing Taliban government, it has been pragmatic and maintained relations with Afghan's current rulers. It has not, so although diplomatic relations in two places have not been established, but contact is there. A close relationship with Kabul is essential for Tehran to achieve goals such as preservation of Lake Hamoun. But since Taliban seized power, there have been repeated incidents at the border. 6 months before the Taliban seized power, Tehran received a Taliban delegation in part to reach an agreement on water rights. Taliban now seem unwilling to honor these agreements after coming to power in Afghanistan. Both sides are looking for short-term solutions. Both Tehran and Taliban Afghanistan were showing no interest in addressing the mismanagement of water resources and tackling the environmental problem in the region. Both sides are looking for short-term solution and want to solve their own internal problems. The Taliban want to improve agriculture and the government in Tehran is acting as if it suddenly care about the disadvantaged province of Sistan Balochistan after the nationwide protest last year. The experts say, referring to the widespread demonstration and political unrest following the deadly 20-year-old Dina Masa Amin in police custody. Despite a brutal crackdown, demonstrations in Sistan Balochistan continue to gather the street to protest the political system. Water resources from Lake Hamoud are critical to the drought-stricken province, one of the poorest area in Iran. According to Iran's parliament, 25 to 30% of the population has left the region over the past 2 decades because of the water shortage and moved to the suburbs, city, and other regions. But in the current situation, public anger in the eastern Iranian region have already been mounting and amid water shortage and other economic and social problems and the latest clash between Iranian and Taliban troops increased the tension. On May 28th, the commander of the Iranian Army's ground force and the deputy chief of the Iranian police traveled to Sistan Balochistan and said the situation was under control. Tehran and Kabul have also agreed to set up a commission of inquiry to find out what happened in the border shootout. In Iran, many people are angry given that three Iranian soldiers have lost their life by the attack from the Taliban, which is ruling faction in Afghanistan. That is why the people in the people in Afghanistan, people in Iran, have their own anger against the Afghan Taliban ruled Afghanistan forces. Okay. So then the next is Telangana Statute Day, history of the state formation. Okay. So Telangana celebrated ninth anniversary of Statute Day on 2nd May. At the forefront of the celebration has been K. Chandrasekhar Rao, popularly known as KCR, Telangana sitting chief minister and foremost leader of the movement for Statute of Telangana. The Telangana is a state right now, so carved out of Andhra Pradesh. The credit for this go to the TRS, okay, leader K. Chandrasekhar Rao, okay, so who has launched the mission for Telangana and ultimately succeeded in getting Telangana a separate statute by getting from Andhra Pradesh. Okay, Telangana, the newest state in India, has a complex history. Pre-independence, it was part of the princely states of Hyderabad. While there are talk of statute in 1950, the region was eventually merged with the adjoining Andhra Pradesh to form the state of Andhra Pradesh. Finally, in 2014, after a decade of struggle, Telangana was carved out to Israel Andhra Pradesh by the Andhra Pradesh State Reorganization Bill passed by the Indian Parliament. Even that bill, when it was referred to the Andhra Assembly have not passed it, but the Parliament passed it, and Telangana the separate state was created by bifurcating Andhra Pradesh. Okay, Telangana's path to statehood. Present-day Telangana comprised the south and southeast Telugu-speaking region of the princely states of Hyderabad. The city of Hyderabad itself lay at the heart of the region. But unlike the areas around, it was dominated by the Urdu-speaking Muslim elite, ruled by Nizam Osam Ali Khan. Hyderabad was among the largest and most prosperous princely states in the country, for which so it was not willing to join India. Hyderabad, Junagadh, and Kashmir. Okay. In 1945, a communist-supported rebellion broke out in Telangana against the prevailing Jagidari or land revenue system. Nizam's response was brutal, unleashing a local militia known as the Rajakar on the protesting peasants. For the next few years, the Rajakar committed numerous atrocities on Telangana's population and grew increasingly dominant in the state politics. After independence and the partition in 1947, Nizam of Hyderabad are unwilling to accede to India, like most other British states had done, even after multiple rounds of discussion with the Sardar Patel state minister. In the meantime, the Rajakars under Qasim Rajvi terrorized the population, lest any attempt to overthrow the Nizam be made. In order to use in a modicum of stability in the state, India signed the standstill agreement with Hyderabad in November 47, which stated that all administrative agreements that were in place, the Nizam and the British Crown would continue between the Nizam and India. However, almost instantly, the terms of the agreement were violated by the Nizam. Not only did he let the Razakar run amok, he also restricted exports of precious metals to India, began negotiating with Pakistan, and stopped accepting the Indian rupee as legal tender. The Razakar even began crying out border raids in neighboring states of Hyderabad. As the state started falling into anarchy, India intervened militarily, launching Operation Polo in September 1948. Within a week, India has taken control of Hyderabad's administration. In January 1951, when India became a republic, Hyderabad was accorded a status of the Party B state, the Nizam as the Raj Pramukh and elected chief minister. As history would have it, this state lasted less than 6 years. The part two the linguistic reorganization of the state. The erstwhile Madras state, a huge covering area which spoke all the major languages of the South India. In 1952, Poti Siramulu, went on a fast unto death demanding a separate Telugu state. He died after 56 days, triggering unrest across regions and eventually leading to the formation of the Andhra state out of the north and north eastern regions of the Madras state in 1953. Moreover, Siramulu's death made the government seriously consider its position on linguistic state. The State Reorganization Committee came into existence in 1953 and submitted its report 2 years later. Notably, it recommended that Hyderabad be recognized linguistically, the Marathi dominant Marathwada would be integrated to the bilingual Bombay state, and the southwestern Kannada dominant district should be integrated with the Mysore state. Okay, Karnataka. What was contentious, however, was the status of the Telugu dominant Telangana region, while Andhra wanted to merge with Telangana to create a multi-united Misalandha. The SRC State Regulation Commission itself did not favor this, instead recommending Telangana to be separate state till the at least 1961, when it could be given the opportunity to voluntarily merge with Andhra if it is so wished. But the State Regulation Act passed in 1956 ignored this recommendation, merging Andhra Pradesh and Telangana into a single state called Andhra Pradesh, with Hyderabad as the capital. For some, like the KCR, means this was the point where a struggle for separate Telangana state began. That continued for a long period. The demand for a separate state of Telangana began since the day of the state reorganization, and it took a long year to get this. Part 3, struggle for Telangana and the creation of Telangana state. However, the sense of Telangana as a separate entity predated even independence. Under the rule of the Nizam, Telangana region had enforced multi-rulers domicile rules which ensured that only native residents were able to get government job in the region. Since independence, protests regularly broke out in Telangana, demanding the strict adherence to these rules. The first one being 1952, however, it was in January 1969, the creation of Andhra Pradesh. That okay. So, however, it was in January 1969 after the creation of Andhra Pradesh that the region witnessed its most widespread protest yet. And the government started action promising to transfer all non-Telangana employees holding post reserved for Telangana domicile. The issue refused to die down. The protest gave back to the Telangana Praja Samiti, which called for a separate Telangana state. For the next few years, the Mulki rules were at the center of the protest as well as the legal cases. Finally, in September 1973, Indira Gandhi initiated the 32nd Amendment to the Constitution of India. He declared that Andhra Pradesh would be divided into 6 zones for reservation for job being decided on the basis of the zone. As a result, the original Mulki rules are repealed and the movement for Telangana lost some steam. We gained back later. It would finally be revived by the KCR, okay, a leader. In 2001, a member of the Telugu Desam party resigned and established his own political party, Telangana Rashtra Samiti, with the singular aim creating a new state of Telangana with Hyderabad and its capital. While his performance in pool were underwhelming, the sudden death of Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Y. Rajasekhar Reddy, the Congress in 2009 presented an opportunity for KCR. Reddy was the tallest leader of Andhra Pradesh at the time, and post his death, political turmoil ensued. In November 2009, KCR began a fast on to death demanding state rule. The Congress, which at the time was also under pressure nationally, relented within 10 days, promising the creation of the state of Telangana. Congress was ruling at the center, and as per this, Telangana was created. After extensive discussion on the specific state boundary and the choice of capital for the new Andhra state, so Telangana came into existence around 4.5 years later. In 2014, KCR was the first chief minister, and Hyderabad was chosen as the joint capital of both Andhra and Telangana for a period of 10 years, after which Andhra Pradesh would have built shift its own capital elsewhere, and Hyderabad will be the capital of Telangana. Fine. And this was implemented, and the present they celebrate 9 years of creation of Telangana. Okay. After Telangana, there is demand from so many quarters for creating new states in India. Demand is growing from across, including from Odisha, the coastal area, The state one, the coastal state, okay, the western region of Odisha, they have been demanding the creation of a coastal state. But central government, after the issue of Telangana, has not listened to any of the demand and the status quo continued. Next is the Jakhyagana. The beginning of the monsoon is no longer the end of the Jakhyagana performances in Karnataka's coastal district. There is an abundance of venue opening up over the last decade. Jakhyagana theatre is thriving throughout the year. About Jakhyagana, Jakhyagana is a traditional theatre from Karnataka, performed with massive headgear, elaborate facial makeup, and vibrant costume and ornament. Usually cited in Kannada, they also perform in Malayalam as well as Tulu language. The dialect of the South Karnataka is called Tulu, and they also perform in the local dialect called Tulu. They perform with uh, percussion instruments like the chenda, the madalam, the jagata, or chengila, the campbells, and the chakratan, or elatham, small campbells. The instrument used in this features is performed by the special community is performed by the special community known as the Jakula Bharu in the royal court of the Vijayanagara Empire. Right. The word Jakhyagana derived from the names of Atta Balalata, Kelike, and Dasavata. The dance form of Dakhyagana has been divided into two groups by intellectuals and researchers. The dance from the Dakhyagana. Okay, the first category is the Modalopaya, which encompasses the eastern sides of the Karnataka, and the Odu Volupaya is the second category of Dakhyagana, which includes the western and western parts of the state of Karnataka as well as Udupi. Okay, okay. So, western part of the state. Okay, the first category of Modavalba. Modavalba is the second category of Dakhyagana, which includes the western parts of the state of Karnataka as well as Udupi and Uttar Kannada. Right. In the National Startup Award 2023, recently the Department of Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade DPIIT Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade said it has extended the deadline for submission of application to the National Startup Award 2020 to June 15th, 2023. The award is given annually, and so for startup companies, and this year they decided to extend the deadline for receiving the application till June 15th, 2023. About National Startup Award 2023, National Startup Award 2023 will focus on celebrating innovation from across the country in line with Vision India 2047. Uh, DPIIT has invited application across 20 different categories. Okay, so this been the nodal that department. So it has elaborately dealt with this, and so not only the deadline has been expanded, but other means the domain on which this can be done has been extended to provide this facility. Okay. Okay. So aim to reward and recognize outstanding startup and enable in the ecosystem building innovation, product and demonstrating measurable social impact. Cash prize of 10 lakh to one winning startup in category. So 29 different category and each category the winner will be getting 10 lakhs. That is government will spend around 2 crore for giving the awards. The winner and finalist will also be given exclusive government support including investors and government content, mentorship, international market access and a corporate and unicorn connect. It was launched in 2020. Okay, so the launch by the government in the year 2020. Then the Foucault Karnali Hydroelectric Project. Recently, the National Hydropower Corporation Limited and the Vidyut Utpadan Company Limited Nepal signed an MOU for development of the Foucault Karnali Hydroelectricity Project in Nepal. More detail of the project located in the Kalikot district, Karnali province of Nepal. The project will use the flow from the Karnali river for power generation and the generated power will be fed into the integrated power system of Nepal. Key feature of the project, the installed capacity of the project shall be 480 megawatt with average annual generation of about 2448 gigawatt. 109-meter high RCC dam and the underground powerhouse where 6 turbines and 79 megawatt each shall be housed. To utilize the minimum environmental release, one surface powerhouse of 6 megawatt capacity is also planned. This project is conceived as a peaking run of a river type system. Other hydropower projects between India and Nepal, the Pancheshwar multipurpose project on Mahakali River, Lower Arun hydroelectric project on Arun River, tributary of Kosi River, about National Hydropower Electric Corporation Private Limited, NPCC Limited, NHPC Limited is Schedule A enterprise of the Government of India with miniature status is a premier PSU in India for development of the hydropower. It is incorporated in 1975 under the Company Act 1956. The company is mandated to plan, promote, and organize an integrated and efficient development of power in all its aspects through conventional and non-conventional sources in India and abroad. Then the Govardhana scheme in news. Recently, Union Minister for Jal Shakti has launched the Unified Registration Portal for Govardhan. About Unified Registration Portal, this portal will serve as a centralized repository for accessing investment and participation in the biogas CBG compressed biogas sector as a pan-India level. Primary objective to streamline the process of setting up the CBG biogas plant in the country. The Unified Registration Portal allow any government, cooperative, private entity operating or intending to set up the biogas CBG bio CNG plant in India to obtain a registration number by enrolling in the portal. This registration number enables them to avail a multiple of benefits and support from the Ministry and Department of the Government of India. So about Govardhan scheme, galvanizing organic bio-agro-resources done is a crucial umbrella initiative of Government of India. The government launched the Govardhan scheme in 2018 as a national priority project under the Swachh Bharat Mission Gramin Phase 2 program. Its aim is to generate wealth and energy by converting cattle dung, agriculture residue and other organic waste into biogas, that CBG and biofertilizer. It adopts a whole of government approach and aim to convert waste into wealth, thereby promoting a circular economy. Then the Department for Drinking Water and Sanitation, Ministry of Jal Shakti, the nodal ministry which operate this. Okay. In the Mettur Dam, as Kaveri water is scheduled to be released from the Mettur Dam soon, farmers in district are undertaking preparatory measures to commence the Kudbaral cultivation as soon as the river water reaches their field. About the Mettur Dam, it is one of the longest dam in India, built in 1934. Location Mettur, Salim district, Tamil Nadu. It was constructed in a gorge where the Kaveri river entered the plain. It provides irrigation facility to parts of Salim, the length of Erodo, Namkal, Turur, then Tiruchirappalli and Tanjavur district of 271 means 2.71 lakh 2.7 lakh hectare. Okay, acre. That means 1 lakh 10 hectares of farmland. Features the total length of the dam is 1700 meter with a maximum level of 120 feet and a capacity of 93.4 TMC feet. The dam creates a standby reserve set at the foot of the dam in 1937 in the Mettur hydroelectric and thermal power plant with an hydropower generation capacity of 32 megawatt. Okay, so Kaveri also spelled Kaveri is a sacred river of South India. It is known as the Ganga of the South. Origin it rises to Brahmagiri Hill in the Western Ghat in southwestern Karnataka state. It flows in a southeasterly direction for 65 kilometers through the state of Karnataka and Tamil Nadu and descends the Eastern Ghat in a series of great fall. The Kaveri Basin extends over the states of Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Kerala, and the Union Territory of Puducherry. The river drains into the Bay of Bengal at Pampur in the Malidutra district of Tamil Nadu. Major left bank tributary are Harangi, the Hemapati, and the Simsa and the Arkabati. Major right bank tributary includes the Lakmantrit, the Kabani, and the Suvarnabati, the Bhavani, and the Nauli, and the Amravati. Coming to the question, elaborating the Indo-Pacific Island Cooperation Summit held recently, discuss the significance of the Pacific Island country for India. Forum of the India-Pacific Island Cooperation is a multinational grouping developed in 2015 for a cooperation between India and the 14th Pacific Island nations. Recently, the third IPIC summit was held in Papua New Guinea, where the Prime Minister unveiled a comprehensive 12-step initiative aimed at advancing India's collaboration with the country in the Pacific region. India's involvement with these 14 nations align with its Act-East policy and South-South cooperation. Area of cooperation with India and the Pacific Island country discussed during the uh, uh, PIPIC summit are as follows. India's development partnership with the Pacific Island countries encompasses various areas such as infrastructure development with a particular emphasis on education, health, and culture. India also announced the establishment of a super specialty cardiology hospital in Fiji, and the Indian government will bear the cost of the mega greenfield project. Sea ambulance will also be provided to all 13 Pacific Island countries. Discussions were also held on various issues facing the world today, such as the supply chain of food, fuel, fertilizer, and the pharma sector challenges. India has also assured support to the FIPIC nation in the field of sustainable development, science and technology, and space application. India also pleaded to provide desalination units for the people of every Pacific Island country. Significance of Pacific Island country for India, the strategic importance of the Indo-Pacific region, the sea lanes of the Indo-Pacific region are critical to international commerce, and the Pacific Island lie right at the center of it. Therefore, the rising significance of the Indo-Pacific regionally and internationally has brought the Pacific Island countries to the center of global attention. Okay, so geological importance for the countries, the Pacific Island country with the resource-rich exclusive economic zone can be attractive sources of natural and mineral resources like LNG and hydrocarbons to fuel India's growing economy and can also provide new market for its products. They are also known for their significant biodiversity-rich ocean life and mangroves. Sustainable utilization of ocean. India in recent years has been vocal about ocean-led growth on various international platforms. Similarly, the Pacific Island Forum leaders also endorsed the Blue Pacific identity as the core driver of collective action. This provides a common ground where India can engage with this country, give its own emphasis on the idea of the blue economy. The changing approach of India towards the Pacific Island countries. In recent years, India's approach towards the Pacific Island country has been on a gradual positive shift. This change can be attributed to various geopolitical, economic, and strategic factors as India looked beyond its immediate region with its growing economic, maritime, military capabilities, and strategic ambitions in the wider Indo-Pacific region. Countering China, the region is one of the most aid dependent in the world. China is making inroad in the form of investment under its Belt and Road Initiative (BRI) initiative, that initiative Belt Road Initiative, otherwise known as the OPOI. The increasing its naval presence in the region, India's engagement with the Pacific Island countries is important to counter the Chinese presence in the Indo-Pacific. Development partnership, India can deepen its engagement with the Pacific Island countries on climate issues, disasters management, disaster management, human resources development, economic cooperation, and people-to-people contact. India's engagement with the region can provide it with greater access to the market. Far away from its shore, it could be an important tool to strengthen its own presence in the Pacific region. The Pacific Island countries, while geographically small, yet have considerable economic, strategic, and political significance in international affairs. The recent effort to engage with the region have brought India much closer to these countries. Further, the formation of the FIPIC has given forum of the Pacific Island countries has given a much needed push to India's relation with the PIC and have provided a platform to facilitate multilateral and multidimensional cooperation between India and the Pacific Island countries. Then coming to the MCQs, which of the following the best description of the MH-60 Romeo helicopter? So it is a marine helicopter. Okay. So given by USA to India by 1A. Then 2. Which of the following statement are correct with reference to Agni 1? It is a solid fuel medium range ballistic missile. It is developed under the Integrated Guided Missile Development Program. Okay. So 2. So both are correct. Both 1 and 2. Fine. In the following statement, the Geological Survey of India has found reserve of the lithium in Degna in Rajasthan's Nagaur districts, Bolivia, Chile, Argentina, which from the lithium triangle in South America. Okay, so here, so both the statements are correct, and statement 2 is not the correct explanation of statement A, but both are correct. Okay, they're on unrelated statement, but both are correct. So, which of the following has launched the Govardhan scheme? Govardhan scheme is led by Mission Jal Shakti, galvanizing bioorganic. Okay, so West to Wealth. So recently, the NIPCCD organized a reference training program on Mission Vatshalya from 19th to 31st May 2023 at the NIPCCD Regional Center, Mohali. Consider the following. It aims to achieve development of child protection priority aligned with the Sustainable Development Goal. That is right. Okay. So it is implemented by the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare is wrong. So, which of the following statements are correct with reference to National Startup Award 2023? It is implemented by the Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, that DPIIT, that is uh, correct. Okay. Then the next is it rewards outstanding startup and enable in the ecosystem building innovative products. So both are correct. Fine. Then India has launched its Bukhot Karnali hydro project in Nepal. B. During the recent visit of the Nepali Prime Minister, Sokamal Dal, celebrating making the 50th anniversary of coronation of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj recently began at the Raigad Fort of Maharashtra. Consider the following statement regarding Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. He was the founder of the Maratha Empire in Western India. That is correct. He was a secular ruler who was very accommodating to all religions. Also correct, both 1 and 2. Then consider the following statement regarding the joint under United Nations program HIV/AIDS. It brings together the efforts and the resources of the UN system organization to unite the world against AIDS. Okay, right. So it is coordinated by the UN AIDS Secretariat at the headquarters in New York. Also correct. Metro Dam is over Kaveri River. This way, if discussion is over, keep watching regularly to update yourself on the development regular on daily basis. Thank you.